Whoa. So, yeah. Uh, that's that's Eep. All right. So we're gonna basically what we did here was I just went back to the tracking station and then I reloaded these craft and look at them. They're spinning nearly uncontrollably. Okay, so the orbital construction, I think, is no longer going to be a part of our non-permanent modules, because that was a little scary. Let's hope nothing's broken. Um, yeah, that was a little scary, not gonna lie. Right, we're gonna set that as our target. All right, so we're gonna turn off our RCS. ODARP is tumbling a little bit, but I think it should be all right. Um, I'm actually kind of upset that I stopped the video there. That this is going to be a two-part episode, just because that would have been. If I had known that it was going to be this easy to fix, I would have just done it. You know what I mean? Alright, so we're going to turn on our RCS and we're going to translate. Because we're actually going away from KL quite rapidly. How are we doing for monoprop? Okay, we've got plenty of monoprop. We've actually probably got quite a lot of delta V in our monopropellant and our RCS, especially considering we've got these four RCS jets on our main engine. So, alright, so we're now moving closer to KL. Translate down a bit. That was freaky is what that was. Yeah, I definitely think that might be a bug with Kerbal Attachment System, because I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think it's because I connected stuff using the pipes. Might not have set them up properly. We'll see. Yeah, very upset that this is going to be a two-part episode, considering especially how short the first part is going to be. But oh well, that's how it goes. Sorry, that's my phone giving me a text message. But I'm going to toss it behind me so we don't have to listen to it. Alright, we're more or less online. ODARP there, still not stricken, but it's very unfortunate. Oh, I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. I wish that I had caught that on film. Because it was literally, I just hopped back to the Kerbal Space Center, and then I went to the tracking station and I loaded up, and it had KL and Colossus and ODARP as separate ships, and I just selected KL and hit the fly button, and here we are. I'm going to thrust forward slightly. Press forward a whole bunch. Oh no, we're not going to be able to slow down. No. No. Roll. Ugh. Curses. Alright, you know what? We're here. So we're going to use KL to actually perform the docking. See, it's much nippier. Using a ton of monoprop. I'm really glad that I managed to save Colossus from striking its solar panel. Very lightly nudged its communication array. Let's hope these two dock properly. Okay, docked up properly. Alright, I'm just going to go check on ODARP. Alright, so it's out of alignment, but this solar panel over here is still getting sun exposure. So we're going to roll to bring our main solar panel back into proper alignment. We're going to pitch down, I think. Just to bring us back even with the equator, the horizon. Not the horizon, but relative to the equatorial plane. Alright, that's going to have to be good enough. Alright, so we're going to disable all these engines. Alright, and Bob, who both caused the accident by doing all his orbital construction, but also who saved it, more or less, by being able to perform that docking. Alright, so he's going to just wait it out in the crew can. So we're going to find the moon, there it is. Alright, and I think we're going to wait until day side, more or less, for our burn. That should be correct. Let's get our nav ball up. 600. See, that's too late. You need there. No, we want to pass it on the right. You always want to be in a, there we go. Alright, 700 delta V. Alright, yeah, our delta V budget is going to be extraordinarily tight, I think. The SAS fighting us there. See, total delta V is 2,607. What engine is still on that shouldn't be? Is it this one? That engine. There we go. Glad I checked that. That could have been disastrous. So 14 minutes to the burn. We're going to do a test burn. Alright, so it's going to take us about a minute, so we're going to start at 30 seconds. We went right by it. By a lot. This episode is not going well. It's not going very well at all. It's too bad, because that last, the last, the Ranger launch went off without a hitch. It was perfect, and this is bungling it badly. Alright, so we're going to zip around. Alright, and 5, 4, 3, 2, good enough. Alright, and again, sorry for this being on the night side. I had planned on this being on the day side, but it did not want to work. So hopefully you can kind of see what's going on there. Let me just turn Kerbal Engineer off. Alright, and there's our target, the moon. We're gonna let you see some engine exhaust. I know it's very dark. Very dark right now, but keeping an eye on this to make sure we don't overshoot, because I'm proving that what can go wrong does go wrong. See, pushing out this heavy two-stage lander has used up almost all of the delta V in the Colossus. So what we're going to do now is we're going to transfer fuel out of all of the kind of the probes. And this is going to be used for the return journey. Yeah, see, if I used like a smaller lander, I'd have more. It wouldn't be this tight, essentially. But I wanted a 2-stage. Alright, at least we're in the day side now. These are all empty. They are. And I'm actually gonna drain 2 of the tanks. Just so it's even. They have fuel lines, so all the radial tanks here feed each other. So I don't have to worry about it starving the engines. But I am going to have to be mindful that I do not have as much total delta V in that lander as I'm accustomed to. Alright, so we're going to time accelerate to get to the moon. Our inclination is negligible. Lunar periapsis. Alright, 200 delta V. Where's the moon? Where is she? There's the moon. It's hard to see, but it's just there at the edge of the screen. So it's going to be a day away. So pretty healthy time acceleration here. 4 hours. 2 hours. There's the moon. Pretty hard to miss now. 1 hour. 40 minutes. I'm actually going to slow down time and I'm going to get us aligned properly. Fighting the SAS, as always. Spinning us around. Oh, passed right by it. And that's the SAS. Just throwing us way farther than it has to. Draining more electric charge than it needs to. But, okay, so still 30 minutes out to our node. Speed up time again. Oh, and we're going to be burning on the night side of the moon as well. Joy. Oh, no, came around to the day side. Well, good for us. Oh, man, I've made kind of a hash of this. Not pleased. Not pleased at all. So let's capture our orbit. Looks like Duna and Ike up there. Okay, so we're in a pretty low orbit. But I don't want to use too much delta V. Yeah, see, we were topped up. We were full up on fuel when we left, and now we're down to half. So, all right. So Bill and Bill and Bob are going to be the ones to land. And the reason for that is, although yeah, Jebediah might be good to have along, if something goes wrong, Bob needs to be there to fix it. Oh, Bob might need to fix. This was orange, and I don't know why that is. So I'm going to do a little testing. I'm going to see if no damage. Okay. All right. Well, Bob has. Hitting his head on the station, or the lander can there. All right, so Jeb will remain in Colossus, and he will provide a watchful vigil for his companions. So let's hope this undocks properly. Okay. Alright guys, it's on you. So we're gonna activate our engines. Alright, we're going to wait for our apoapsis to... No, because we want to land on the day side. Okay, that looks like it'll have good contrast. Oh, as much as I am not fond of the new SAS, I do. Whoa! Why was I burning? As much as I'm not a fan of the new SAS, it is not having stability assist of any kind is a little weird. Oh, I do have stability assist, but Jeb isn't here. Weird. Oh, it's because I have a probe core. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to turn that off because it's draining power quite rapidly. Actually, no it isn't. Because we have plenty of batteries. That's just draining that probe core. Alright, so we're going to time accelerate. 3 minutes, and it's going to be a 73 meters per second burn. Alright, and alright, we're going to want to spin us around here. We're going to want to deploy our communications array and our Communitron 16. Ugh, I'm so annoyed at how badly I've managed this mission. It's been really just no good. No good at all. Spin us around again. Yeah, we'll go for that crater, I think. So yeah, they'll have the probe core for the descent, but on ascent they won't have any stability assist. But that's okay because Colossus is going to be the active member in the docking phase. Alright, I am going to start slowing us down. Does mean that we're not going to go more for that crater. This crater here that we can see. We're going to want to point where we need to point. So we've ditched about 100 delta V. Alright, 13,000. Alright, we're going to deploy our landing gear now. What's our trajectory looking like? Alright, so we still are inbound for that crater there, just the edge. They have just doomed these guys. Oh yeah, I do not have enough thrust. Total failure. My first moon landing on YouTube and I bungle it. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, Jeb. Alright, well, let's see. Okay, he's got 1,000 delta V. He'll be fine. Oh, Jeb. Buddy. All that work, ODARP, the lander, everything. Well, crap. Well, it's going up because I said that I was not worried about. I wouldn't do a redo for failures in KSP, only for production failures. So we have failed. Failed to land on the moon. Whatever. Another moon mission will have to be planned. and for the record, I was during my EVA on the moon and stuff down there. I was planning on talking a bit about my plans for the future, and I had not storyboarded for this. I had plans, man. They were good plans, and now they're just kinda gone. Alright, so we're going to want a point normal, or anti-normal as the case may be, for our approach, because I'm going to ditch the I'm going to ditch the propulsion and crew vehicle part. Just going to come back with a capsule. So we're going to head for the atmosphere. Alright. Here's the descent. And this is unfortunately what's going to constitute the mission today, is descending to Kerbin instead of the moon. It's telling me shoot deployment unsafe, but so, okay, alright, so we can deploy our chutes now. I'm just so disappointed. Alright, we'll decouple our heat shield and deploy our parachutes. Glad Jeb's back. I'm glad to be back home, because I sure am not. I am sure not. I also hope that I've actually been recording all this. Ha 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 ha. Oh. Oh boy. Well, this is part of a mission. It includes landing on a planet, so are. Ugh. Alright. And they're back. Cause they're badass. Still. I just, ugh. Hate it. Alright, well, that's been the episode for today. Thoroughly disappointed in myself for all the... But anyway, I'll see you next time, and I have no idea what we're gonna do the next episode, because I had planned on them landing successfully on the moon, and we'd go from there. But well, mission a day for 365 days. They can't all be winners. And I'll see you next time. Hope you've enjoyed, and hope you'll enjoy the next one too.